Everyone is going to want XRP, and right now it's quietly being drained from major exchanges. Coinbase, Crypto.com, Binance, Upbit. The question isn't if there's a supply squeeze forming. The question is who is pulling it off and why, just as ETF chatter and DC policy collide. Back to XRP. Across top exchanges, we're seeing elevated volumes and net outflows. That's consistent with institutions or sophisticated desks sourcing liquidity, then pulling coins to cold. And yes, some speculation ties portions of these movements to ETF readiness and liquidity provisioning scenarios. If a spot XRP ETF lands, whether September or later, inventory needs to be somewhere safe and off exchange. There's also the infrastructure angle. Ripple's interop focus. Think initiatives akin to Warhol, bridging on-chain and traditional rails. Meanwhile, household names like BlackRock are already fluent in tokenization narratives. If you connect those dots, the behavior we're seeing, gather, consolidate, move off exchange, fits the pre-positioning playbook. Let's keep it tight and data-driven. First, exchange reserves at Upbit, a kingmaker venue for XRP, dropped 100 MXRP from 5.936B to 5.836B in just over a week. That's not noise. That's intent. Now, a caution. Old coins woke up 2 days ago. Historically, that can precede near-term retraces. You get rebalanced inventories, sometimes profit-taking. But it coincided with whales cranking activity. The average per active address spiked toward 246K XRP. That's institutional scale signature. Wallet bands holding millions of XRP show steady accumulation, which I weigh more heavily than short-term wake-ups. Finally, resistance clusters, $4.80, $6.60, $11.28. We've highlighted $4.80 as an overheat zone on certain multiples, $6.60 and $11.28 map to historical liquidity shelves where large holders pre-posted take profits. TLDR, mixed in the short term, constructive in the trend, with withdrawals the key tell. That's why we love but-in, clean, unemotional signal. Pair that with JP Morgan now name-checking Ripple within CBDC tech stacks, and the institutional migration looks less theoretical and more operational. Now to DC. World Liberty Finance launching a token with deep Trump family ties is going to create optics friction on Capitol Hill. Whatever your politics, staffers see headlines, and headlines shape timetables. Separately, California's new Government Efficiency Web 3 task force includes Ripple and Coinbase. That's meaningful. Pilots, treasury ideas, and a runway for public sector tokenization. Amid the noise, a big signal. SEC plus CFTC staff published a joint note clarifying that the law does not preclude national exchanges, think NYSE/NASDAQ analogs, from offering spot crypto under regulated frameworks. That's the green light institutions look for: governance, surveillance, data, audits. It doesn't settle the security/commodity taxonomy by itself, but paired with market structure bills, it's the bridge. On the Hill, the Clarity Act passed the House with bipartisan weight. Several senators have called it the most consequential digital asset bill of the cycle. If the Senate moves this fall, it locks the rules of the road and removes the single biggest excuse for institutions to stay sidelined. Let's connect Ripple's expanded ties with a global payment network footprint. 130+ countries, billions of reachable accounts. This matters because XRP's edge is not replacing fiat. It's bridging a liquid currency pairs cheaply and fast. The more corridors lit up, the more XRP can be used as on-demand liquidity. Ripple payments can run with or without XRP, but XRP's utility spikes where fiat rails are thin. That's where the value accrues. Macro backdrop, gold just notched fresh all-time highs. Historically, the sequence goes gold, BTC, altcoins when liquidity loosens and rate expectations pivot. If that pattern holds, the quiet we're seeing is the coil before the drive. XRP is draining from exchanges. Whales are active, regulation lanes are opening, and payments rails are widening. The signal is there. Now it's about timing and discipline. Stay sharp, stay solvent, and I'll see you in the next one.